Yesterday was day one of Storage Field Day 21. Taking part not over in America as per usual, normally we're going around Silicon Valley or somewhere like that, but remotely due to the coronavirus pandemic. The first organisation to present was MinIO, and definitely a standout presentation for me. Really engaging presenters and really interesting to learn more about their products and their business, where they've been and also where they're going in the future. Their product is a object storage solution. It aims to be a tier 1, a primary storage solution, and not a tier 2 solution as per most other object storage platforms. Their guiding principles are that performance is key. Again, not necessarily something that is top priority for all object storage platforms. That it should be simple and easy to manage. And finally, should be cloud native, working with modern workloads such as Kubernetes, but they also talk about Splunk and a number of other cloud native workloads. Now, their go-to-market strategy is focused on being open source and offering a commercial model. And undoubtedly, this has worked well for them in terms of getting their product out there, getting it utilized, and having the breadth of customers to then hopefully then bring into their more commercial model moving forward. And there were some really impressive figures there, which if I share my doodle, hopefully you can see some of those on screen now that I captured. Things like the Fortune 500 companies that were utilizing it, and the growth that they've been seeing in their community with their Slack channel and other things like that as well. Now, some of the benefits of their platform is it's been built on the Kubernetes APIs from the ground up. So it's not something they're having to retrofit and make it adapt to work with those more modern workloads. It's fully S3 compatible, and it can be containerized and orchestrated easily. A large amount of their workloads are deployed in that fashion. The bits that really stood out to me, because the Kubernetes world and things like that isn't an area that I've spent a lot of time in, was really as to what was happening next. So they've seen the mass deployment almost happen via shadow IT, with the application developers deploying it as a necessary part of their application development with Kubernetes, with the container platform. But the challenge that we see in many organizations, at some point you need to flip from development to management. You've got those day 2 operations you really need to be then considering. And obviously this rings very true with VMware's message that we've heard before. I think the previous Cloud Field Day they presented and spoke about Tanzu and how they were bringing together Kubernetes and containers as to a first-class citizen inside vSphere. And it was interesting to hear how MinIO had a really close relationship working with VMware, making sure that they were a first-class citizen in VMware's strategy to be able to do this, utilizing some of the concepts like vSAN Direct to allow MinIO to take responsibility for storage, for performance, direct access to drivers, to make sure that they were a key part of this solution moving forward, allowing developers still to be able to do what they need to be able to do quickly and easily, native from the Kubernetes relevant consoles and command lines managed by the Kubernetes operator was a clear concept for them. But ultimately also giving the ability for the VMware administrator, the day 2 operations people, to see what was going on, administer it behind the scenes as well. So it was really good to hear about that, but also see that in place. Now, it's very clear that one of the biggest challenges for them is moving over to this commercial model. When you're offering your product as open source, you've got to offer significant benefits for people to convert to that paid-for model. Similar models that with companies like Red Hat with Linux and things like that. And they spoke about Subnet, their commercial model, offering engineer level support because they're so confident in their product and their reliability that if you do have a problem, if you do need to reach out, you will get engineer level support from the people that know the code and know what's going on behind the scenes. They were saying the average ticket time is resolved in less than 15 minutes. But it also does other things as well. It was very much a cloud consumption model. You could true up and true down what you needed based upon storage. There was caps in place for the larger environments to make sure you weren't paying so much. They spoke about their growth, relatively new model, so I'm not going to speak about that as to a term of success. But it was good to see they had that commercial model in place. You also don't need to worry about the restrictions of an open source license and things like that. It really stood out for me. It was an interesting platform in this day and age where we are seeing the change in the way applications are being developed. We've got to see IT teams change the way that they're administrating and looking after it and coming together with the developers. And it's really good to see MinIO working along that same path. So great presentation, and I'm looking forward to the rest of Storage Field Day, and we'll be sure to do some more summaries where relevant.